I know my biggest fault as a coach is talking too much. I know it's something that I have to concentrate on during most sessions. It's important to come to a happy medium between the players learning from you, learning from themselves, or you helping them becoming independent thinkers. After you've given simple and concise instructions or coaching points, simply stand back and see how they're performing. Let them get the hang of it before you step in and give more points. Observe and evaluate their performance. Observing gives you the information you need to assess whether to give coaching points, vary the activity, or simply encourage your players for doing a great job or progress it. Remember to give players time to execute an activity before you give them any coaching points. Have a look to see if there's any pattern to the errors the players are making, and have a look to see if the players can actually pick up the skills that they're doing wrong before you jump in. Where should you stand? When observing, be aware of where you're standing, particularly when there's small groups all over the court. See all the players. Never stand with your back to any of the players. A good idea for the players and you is to call out some positive feedback to the far group. They then know that you're watching, and it keeps you aware of what all the groups are doing. Look at the whole group. See if the majority are struggling with something, and if so, stop and give a coaching point or two, and let them do it again. If the majority are doing it well, with just a few of them struggling, go up to those players and explain the coaching point again, and maybe in more detail. Have a look at this activity I call zigzag running, where the players have to push off on their outside foot at the cones. While I'm observing, I'm thinking, are they pushing off with their outside foot? Are they accelerating out of the turn? Are they running in arcs or like an arrow? Are they pumping their arms? What's the first thing you'd say to these players? They are changing direction like an arrow, which most young players have trouble with. They tend to run in arcs. They are pumping their arms, but I'd like to see these players pushing off and getting their first foot down on the ground quickly after pushing off with their outside foot, so they accelerate after the turn. The first person in each line is going to start off by running, and you're going to choose one of them to pass to. Let's just do that much. Off you go. A little lob, yep, and stop. Great. Now you two are going to split. Pass to one of them. Right, hold it there. You two are now going to be those two people, so run on the outside. Right, take a second pass and pass back to the thrower. You two go back to the end of the line. So what you saw then, on the way down, only one of you gets a pass. On the way back, you both get a pass. Okay, off you go. Just a straight pass, except for this first one. What points would you first highlight to this team? While observing, I'm thinking, do they know where and when they should be moving to catch the ball or throw it? Are the splitting players leading at the correct time? Are they balanced after catching the first pass? Should I ask them the question about how to pass better down the court, or should I just tell them? Is the third player angling across the court towards the ball? And what coaching point or skill could sharpen up the activity and increase the intensity? What's the first thing you'd say to these players? Have a look at it again. See how they aren't balanced when they catch the first pass, and therefore they're stepping when they're choosing who to pass to. So I chose to get the girls to balance when they catch the first pass, and also to sharpen up their passing. Have a look at the difference now. Next I added a defender between the splitting players. The defender defends only one of the players when they split. So now the player receiving the first pass must be balanced and choose carefully which player is free. When they get the idea of this, demand quality with quick, fast, quality passes. Let's look at line of 4. 2 attackers, 2 defenders and 2 throwers. The first thing I try to get right is the attackers. Are the attackers running at the right time and changing direction if they need to? The defenders, they really need to try and intercept every pass. Are they ready to run and anticipate to run as soon as the attacker moves? Are the defenders putting hands over the ball at 3 feet? Or should I slow down the attacker's passing if the defenders are struggling with this? What's the first thing you'd say to these players? I'd be reminding defenders about getting into a great starting position and trying to anticipate when the attacker starts their run, so they can cover the first lead. And what would you say now? Similar to the first team, these defenders all need to set up early, in a front starting position. I would also be encouraging guts and determination. Get players motivated to attempt to tip or intercept the first ball. Let's do the activity split and re-offer each end and stand back and let the players understand where they need to run and where to pass. So I'll need to spend a bit of time getting this right. The coaching points likely to be needed are change direction and angle towards the ball on the second move, having 2 leads to every ball at each end, balance, and then passing out in front, and getting the ball to move quickly from player to player. But it's really what you see once you assess the players, which will tell you what your coaching points need to be. Have a look at these players and see what needs to be worked on. Think about what should be the first thing you should coach. What will make the biggest difference? I chose to adjust the re-offer. I told them to angle the second lead towards the centre circle, so they're cutting more towards the ball. Have a look now at the difference that it made. Next, I added a defender to each end, so players had to choose which attacker to pass to. Observe these players and see if they're making a correct choice of who to pass to. If not, have a look to see are they balanced enough to make a correct choice. As the activity went on, the players' balancing and decision making got worse. As a game goes into the third and fourth quarters, you want the quality to remain great. So in this activity, try setting targets for the players, like getting 20 passes made correctly, or 30 seconds of perfection. So in your next training session, stand back and give yourself time to observe the players so that you can see which skills would be best to coach next to make the biggest difference. Enjoy your coaching.